Me person that she be a me surrogate mobi. Open surrogate. Say say be as say. I'm recording. Say be a I be a wife for you to me. Maybe I'm person me woman. Na omo fa kwala no. Enya me ba I quite omo hu nsuo na omo dey asem me yim. Open. I didn't know open. Then obi ba o na wokache na ashe. Hey, she want only a duba. Okay, so today we're talking about surrogacy, surrogate and stuff like that. These days on social media, a lot of ladies are like, I want to be a surrogate for somebody. I want to be a surrogate. This is come woman. But do you think it's that easy? Do you think surrogacy is something so simple, so straightforward? Do you think it has no emotional burden or anything? I believe it has to. It's not easy like that, which to be a surrogate, it has to go through a whole lot of stuff. So today we're talking about surrogacy. We're talking about who a surrogate is. How can one even become pregnant? Do you have to sleep with a man to get pregnant for the couple or something? We're going to discuss all these things today. Okay, so please subscribe and watch to the end because I want to tell you how this surrogacy thing is done. Okay, good. Now let me ask you something before I continue. Do you think Ghana here surrogacy can become an acceptable something, or can it ever become a common thing where somebody can actually say, oh yeah, I had my child through surrogacy? Oh no, I believe that it's going to take a very long time, a lot of education before this thing can become acceptable or a common thing. Because hey, if people get to know so you had that child through surrogacy, apparently not 3 years, papa will be and will buy and a whole lot of things. I mean, the way that we will say to cry is even disheartening. Yeah, if somebody, even adoption, go adopt a child, and a neighbor, a relative gets to know say the child is an adopted child. Apparently not 3 years, hey, nyamia bio, me kaida ye kofa with your finance center be a way classy be in search you in Remo baby. But the person can say, hey, the way they will say it, you don't buy now why you time from papa. Hey, you said the why you fair, or you said the why you come and nyamia be. So when him say omo your papa no mama dey, I'm go for baby na buy you till down mass, and your mom can go to show. I told you, who gave you that way? So go and tell the child. It's so heartbreaking. So I believe these things, it will take time. And if I should ever decide to even go through the surrogacy way, I also have to hide it. Charlie, me hide it because me cannot be and something else. So I actually interviewed my mom and my auntie. I asked my mom if she would ever allow me to be a surrogate, and I asked my auntie if she would ever be a surrogate for a couple. And their response was both funny, was interesting actually, and their response or their reaction is a very common reaction to these things. So let's go watch this video and come back and ma me person that she be a me surrogate mobi open surrogate say be as say I'm recording say be a I be a wife for you to me maybe I'm person me woman na omo fa kwala no enya me ba o akwa so omo hu nsuo na omo dey asem me yim open I didn't know open then na obi ba o na wokache na ashe so ayo yim enya me yim but so onyema wo dey tifia ha oh no mo be hwe wo anti nature basa mi nkodi dwa kra ma ba nuadua nka okomekum na ma fio say obi ka say ebi ma na obeye menye I didn't know wonye nti be nkipo obi ba 1 second ebi am e ko na ko yes na say me go we na ko yes we me wu ya ba no ne de akumi that's all de oh say na na me ka yem fa ne say ma wo ba ako me ya na me pushi na afi de me kwakwa ya de ama obi na akwala ne yem fa ne baby na akoye too big na ye say be me CS CS na ye me no say wo say CS ye wo wie so a wo bro ya wo na ya me CS ye wie baby de nge ne atam ne fi me nche because e hyehyɛ ya ye ne ye hyehyɛ ne atam baby ne de na akwa ne maame na nkasa na fe me ba be fa oya o me ba fi afa na me tita mayase me kwa kodware me de ta wo kata me kro so me yese tourist me kwa check up na me ko ni na me kwa me nkita baby bia me nkita akwala bia eno kro mpo ono fukra nyame anya wado na asan akɔhyehyɛ na fe de wo a unyi obi obenu mama na fi. Oh my God. Hey, I don't want to make you. So we call the better than fear being. Hey, so if I should say to be surrogate, so but to make me fear. Wow, interesting. Now you see the thing is that their reaction is not uncommon. It's a very common reaction. Okay, I went for a church program last year. It was in my and after the prayer session, the lady came to give an announcement that she knows a couple who are struggling to have children, and then they want to go the surrogacy way. So if anybody is interested, and there's money, there's compensation and stuff like that, now no and see, come and see the woman in the church room. Hey, Radina Kupon, Sanebra, and we are said baby. He said, "Obi no obi kunen kwadano mamo." So sainty. The midwife, the health worker, and I tried explaining to these women in the church room, say, no, that is not what is done. Even the men were even complaining. We tried explaining, we tried telling them how it is done. They just told us that the woman and the husband should go to that orphanage center, or better still, pray to God that God should give them their own children. No part the own man, the baby, and as onakasa onye bida nyamin pengu. And I was really surprised, but then I'm not really surprised actually. So a lot of education is to go on to know what a surrogate is and what surrogacy is. Okay. Now before I even tell you what a surrogate is. Okay, let me tell you that one first. Good. So when you say surrogacy basically is one person agreeing to have a child for a couple or another person who for some reasons can't have children by themselves or on their own. Okay, it can be that maybe the woman has some medical problems that if she decides to get pregnant, it's going to complicate things and probably even put her at risk of dying. Maybe the woman has certain medical conditions or gynecological problems that ended up making them take a uterus away or off. Okay, some women probably she has the uterus all right, but then due to certain problems, she can't actually sustain a pregnancy. She can get pregnant, but miscarriages upon miscarriages and stuff like that. There are people who have also, they're okay, but then they've gone through some traumatic experiences in their lives or traumatic experience during childbirth, and so they've decided not to have any more children by themselves. So they look for a surrogate to help them in this case. Okay, and we have people who, due to certain personal reasons, they are very okay, but then they decide to go through the surrogacy way. And there are some men, maybe onto me more bad. The sperm count is so low. Nothing is just the sperm should only be. So probably have to go through this surrogacy way to help them out. So a few people will decide to do it for some personal reasons, but a lot of them do it because they have no choice and they also want to be a mother, they want to be a father, so they decide to go through this way. Okay, good. Now there are some celebrities actually out there in the Western world who have actually gone through this surrogacy way, and they don't shy away from it. They don't hide it. Okay, they've come out to say it. Obviously, they don't really mention their surrogate's name for privacy's sake. They want to protect their privacy and stuff like that. But they come out to say that, hey, I just had my daughter, I just had my son via surrogate, I'm a happy mom, and then life moves on. Okay, because ideally or logically, the child is for them actually. So just to mention 2 or 3, our own popular Cristiano Ronaldo had his twins via surrogates. Okay, we have Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. He's not called Ye. I was trying to remember the name. Yeah. So Kim, they have 4 kids. The ex-husband, yeah. So they have 4 kids. The first 2, Kim had the children herself, but then the 3rd and 4th children, because of the complications with the first 2, placenta accurate and stuff like that, they had to get a surrogate to help them with the second, like the 3rd and the 4th children. Okay. Her sister Khloe Kardashian, she also had her second child through a surrogate. Okay, is it Priyanka Chopra and is it Jonas? They also had their daughter via a surrogate. When we go to the gay side of the world, we have, is it Patrick Neil Harris? If you ever watch How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson, that womanizer Barney Stinson, is actually gay. Yeah, so they also had their twins. He and the partner had their twins via surrogate. We have Elton John, a very popular musician. He and the partner also had their twins, or their children also via surrogate. So it's actually a common thing in the Western world. But how do you now, how are you going to be able to achieve this? How are the children, or how does the surrogate get pregnant if it's not sex? Because the truth is, you don't need to have sex to get pregnant when it comes to this surrogacy thing. No, they don't have sex. Maybe some people will decide to do it, but that is not the logical, that is not the right way, that is not the legal way that they do it. Now, it's 2 ways. Now, the first one, we have the traditional surrogacy. The traditional surrogacy was what was practiced for a very long time. These days, it's very rare. In fact, certain countries and certain states have banned traditional surrogacy. This is because when it comes to the traditional surrogacy, the egg is for the surrogate. The surrogate egg is used. Okay, so the sperm donor and the sperm, the donor sperm, whatever, the sperm bank, sperm bank, or maybe the partner husband, the sperm is taken, and then through artificial insemination. When we talk about artificial insemination, I say use sperm, and then we're going to sort of inject it into the surrogate, and that's what it be pia in the wall action uterus. Okay, so now this will be done just before the surrogate ovulate, or while she's ovulating now, and then this sperm is inserted to go meet the egg, and then a baby is formed. So in this case, genetically or biologically, the child belongs to the surrogate because it's her egg, and then it comes with a whole lot of legal issues. One day the lady can come say the child belongs to me, I'm coming for my child. It comes with so many things. Sometimes the parents still feel that the child, especially the mother, will feel the child is not for her. It has so many complications and stuff like that. Okay, so now it's not very common. It's not very common at all. So now the most practiced, or the most common, or the most popular type of surrogacy is the gestational surrogacy. There is a gestational surrogacy. The egg is taken somewhere, the sperm is taken somewhere. Maybe the intended parent, that's the parent who won the child. The mother have the eggs, everything is alright. Make egg na. And you could send me koni jeni ton kumu. There be na make. Hey, I'm talking about egg from there. Talking about the eggs from the ovaries. Okay, can watch that video of my when I talk about the eggs and stuff like that. You can go watch that one. Okay, to understand eggs and these things better. Good. So now the eggs is taken, and if the man also have good quality sperms, his sperm is also taken. If not, they go get sperm from a donor, eggs from a donor, and then in the laboratory, these two are infused or fertilized to form an embryo. Embryo basically is a fertilized egg, and then it's reintroduced into the surrogate uterus, or it's introduced into the surrogate uterus. So the egg is not for the surrogate. So in this case, there's no genetic or any DNA or anything in relation to the surrogate. The surrogate is basically just an incubator. So that's the most common practice one, because with that one, there is the legal issues is a bit better when it comes to the gestational surrogacy. So that's the most common or the most practiced surrogacy. Okay, so as I said, as soon as the baby is born, you the surrogate, you have relinquished, you have given up every right to the child. The child is not for you. You don't have any right to the child. You can't go and come one day and say that my call one pen, so I'm coming back for this one. No, you can't do that. Yes, you cannot go and come that you want a child. The child is not for you, so you have no right to the child. Okay, so if you're not emotionally strong, don't go and try this thing. Okay, because you can't. Now, a lot of people say they will do it because of the financial benefit. Aside that, let me tell you something. Before you to be a surrogate, you need to be very healthy. You can't have any STIs or any medical problems being going to be a surrogate. And after that, go and say you're going to be a surrogate. So you have to go through a lot of medical screening, a whole lot of history has to be taken. They do a lot of checkups. A lot of checks has to be done before you can qualify to be a surrogate. Yes, and then you have a lot of legal documents have to be signed. A lot of things have to be done before finally you can start being surrogate. And even Charlie, with that, you have to monitor your monthly, like your period, get to know your menstrual cycle, to know when you're ovulating. So a whole lot of things goes into this. So not something so simple as a lot of people actually would think. It's not that simple at all. Okay, so that is surrogacy for you. That is the interesting things about surrogacy. And there is that financial benefit which a lot of people actually like. But you know that a lot of people actually do it for their family members for free. I have read stories where a sister decided to be a surrogate for her other sister because her other sister couldn't have children by herself. I have read of stories where a mother decided to be a surrogate for the daughter because the daughter couldn't carry a pregnancy, so she was a surrogate for the daughter. And I've read of friends doing it for their friends without taking a dime, maybe just paying for her antenatal and then her delivery, like labor fees and stuff like that. But to actually charge or be given a compensation, most people don't take it. But then it's also something like a business for some people to also do it. Okay, so that is surrogacy for you. So I'm asking you, would you ever agree to be a surrogate? Or you can't go through the emotional stuff that comes with it. So let me know in the comment section if you ever become a surrogate. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? So I hope today you've learned something about surrogacy. I hope today you've learned that Charlie, you don't need to have sex with the person to be a surrogate, okay? And then being a surrogate is not as easy or as simple as a lot of people think. But then I believe that it's a fulfilling thing. I believe that if you can do it and where you are is allowed, and you want to do it not for the money, but because you want to help somebody. Because I sitting here, I wouldn't mind doing it for somebody for free. Yay! So yeah, it's your girl, and I hope today you've learned something. So as I keep saying, don't do something me I wouldn't do. Bye.